Welcome back to the channel, my YouTube family. Hope you're enjoying Generation Zero, and today we are going to cover inventory management. Very important part of the game. You get all that lovely loot, but then it starts weighing you down. So what to do with it? I'll share some secrets of how I approach it. Let's do it. So as I said in the intro, most of the things that you're going to pick up in this game are going to be useful at some point. But you know, what you'll generally do is you'll just store it away. Because that's what we do when we loot. We just go, okay, we're getting too heavy, we'll just put it away and we'll figure out what to do with it later. So hopefully this will answer a few questions for you about some strategies that you can adopt to store your gear and how to break stuff down. So let's just see what we've got in our storage. So you can see you've got, now I haven't used the skill yet that you can use to get more capacity in both your what you can carry personally and what you can carry in your storage box. So I'll show you where that is. If you go into the menus and we go across to the skill tree now, we did cover the skill tree last week. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I'll give you some recommendations on what skills that I think you need early in the game. But if we go into the skill tree, and I think it is here, there we go. You can actually increase your carrying capacity by choosing that skill in the survival tree. I'll just have a quick look and see if there's any other ones that we can do. So that helps a lot if you're finding you're running into issues where you're being over incumbent every so often. I generally, as you can see by my storage, I haven't used that skill yet because I choose to use inventory management as a tool, and I really don't find it too much of a drama when I do that. So a couple of things that I would suggest you do straight up. I'll just see if we've got, yeah, so we've dumped our recycling stuff. So the first thing I would suggest you do with your inventory management, pay attention to the guns that you're using most often. And then those will be the only ones that you carry. Now, one of the big things that will cost you a lot of weight is not only the guns, but the attachments for those guns. They all have a weight to them, and you can see as we scroll down through the attachments, you know, they're generally 0.250 of whatever the number is, pounds, kilos, whatever, for the attachments. But if you have got several attachments on your gun, like we have on the KISP, then that all starts to add up. Plus, so you can see the KISP alone is 6.75 for whatever's dulakis. But you can imagine as you add more and more weapons to what you're carrying, then the weight's going to go up fairly quickly. So that is the first thing that's going to cause you some issues. So my advice is to just carry the weapons that you need. So generally what I do is I carry a shotgun, the KISP, and a sniper. I've got the A5 at the moment because I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be better for me to run the A5 or the SMG. And also I've got a lot of assault rifle bullets that I want to get rid of. So generally I only run with those three and a pistol. So you'll have to be pretty disciplined to say what weapons to actually really need. So that's the first thing. Once you've determined what weapons you're going to run, only carry the ammunition that you need. And how to do that is if you go to the gun, you will see that it will tell you right there in attachments what ammunition that you should be running. So for the KISP there, it's a 9mm. It does say FMJ, and we'll talk about that in a minute. For the sniper that I have, it's saying 50 BMG full metal jacket. The A5 is 5.56, and obviously the shotgun, it's saying 12 gauge slag ammo. And again, we will talk about the different ammo types in a moment. So first thing I would suggest you do, you look at each of the guns that you're going to be carrying and only carry the ammunition that you need. Now I'm going to go into storage for a minute, and you'll see there's a whole lot of ammo types there, whole lot of different ammo types. You know, .243 soft point, 3.32 ACP. There's all kinds of stuff there that you're going to need for your guns, but some of these are very specific to specific guns. So when you're not using that gun that doesn't use the ammo, store it away. It's a very simple thing, but it will give you, free up a lot of capacity in your inventory. A lot of capacity. Now, for some guns, you're going to find you're going to have a couple of ammo types. So you can see here, this is for the assault rifle, the A5. It needs 5.56, and you can see I've got full metal jacket, FMJ, and I've got armor piercing ammo. Generally, for me personally, I just run full metal jacket. Now, if you go onto the particular ammo type, you'll be able to read the description. So the FMJ, a NATO standard ammunition caliber used in assault rifles. The full metal jacket rounds offers standard armor penetration, and then with the armor piercing, NATO standard ammunition caliber used in assault rifles. The armor piercing rounds offer higher armor penetration than standard FMJ rounds. So there are trade-offs to the different types of ammunition that you're going to find, and yeah, I generally go with FMJ for all round. It just gives me more bang for the buck. The armor piercing does have some downsides to using it, even though it will pierce armor more effectively. You can see we had a look at the shotgun ammunition, and we said slag ammo, but you can also use the birdshot. And that's where, when you have got your weapons, let's just get this equipped first. When you have your weapons equipped, you can change the ammunition type, and you'll see we're going to reload into 12 gauge birdseed. So the shotguns are slightly different than the other guns. So I generally don't. I always have a second load of ammunition for the shotgun, and I really haven't found that I have any downsides into doing that. But again, read the description and make a determination on what ammunition might be for you. Now you can see I have 173 gauge birdshot ammo, and that's weight is 2.768. So again, it has quite a significant impact. Now, what to do with all this ammunition that we're storing? Well, one thing that I suggest you do is, once you've kind of determined what you're using, for me, FMJ, I will just use FMJ. Now, 0.5 BMG is a bit different because that ammunition is hard to come by. But if I'm not using it, I scrap it. I'll basically just scrap it. So we're going to grab the hollow point, 0.32 hollow point, like this. And I'm going to go over to, there it is, to here. And I'm going to scroll across to it. Where is it? There. And you can see it allows me to recycle this. So I'm going to hit recycle, and it only does it in certain increments. So we're going to have 4 bullets left, and that's given me a whole lot of explosives and lead and stuff. Now I'm going to put the other 6 back into the box. because I just don't need to carry it. Even though it is 6 bullets, don't need to carry it. And you can see the weight's going down quite a bit now that I've done that. So I generally get into the habit every so often of coming in here and just getting rid of that hollow point ammunition if I'm not using it, and it gives me resources. Now, what I can then do with that is, I don't have a machine here, but I can actually start to make ammunition with the blueprints I've got. So that just gives you more resources to make things, and we'll show you that a little bit further on in the video how to do that. Okay, so the next thing with your inventory management that I wanted to show you was the fact that you're going to collect a lot of the, oh, hang on, we'll go across here. You're going to collect a lot of these things. Field radios, battery EMPs, compressed air tanks, all kinds of stuff. And sometimes, let's see if we can get an example. I only want to transfer one. Okay, there we go. One radio. And I go over here like this, and I go to the radio, and it says you can't, there's nothing you can do with it. Although there it's saying, for adhesive 8 plastic to lead, but I can't scrap it. But then if you look at it a little bit more closely, you see in red required resources. So generally with these items, when I first started playing the game, I was like, what's this about? I'm picking up all this stuff, I can't do anything with it. I might as well dump it out my inventory. But you need a certain amount, oh, not that one. Where's the radio going? You need a certain amount of resources before you can do anything with them. So we've picked up all the other remaining radios. We go back to the recycling area, and now if we go scroll down to the radios, you can see that recycling option is now open for us to do because we have 5 components. So make sure that you're collecting this up to 5 or whatever the number might be. Some's lower, some's higher, and then you'll be able to recycle those. And it'll ask you if you want to recycle it. You say yes, and suddenly you've got all these crafting resources in place for you to use. And then I just generally put the rest back in the storage container, and life's good. And we wait till we get another radio and we do the same. And so a lot of these will give you different resources. Again, if you want to see what resources you get from each of these, just pick them up. This won't tell me, I won't be able to recycle it, but if I scroll down to the paramedic responder, so you can see what resources you're going to get once we get 5 of those. So of course, one of the other things that you're going to have in your inventory quite a bit is attachments. So there's a few things you got to be careful with attachments on. So first of all, when you put a weapon away in your inventory, all your attachments will be stored as well. So be aware of that, as soon as you drop it into your inventory, all those attachments are going to be in there. So depending on what weapons you're storing, will really dictate what attachments you're also storing. So this is where it can be very, very tricky to sort of manage this side of your inventory. Generally, my rule of thumb is if I pick up, say if I've got a hunting silencer there, but if I get a better hunting rifle silencer, which is a level up, I'll scrap the one that's at a lower level. Now, the only problem with doing that is if you have a couple of hunting rifles, like we do here. So we have the Messer hunting rifle and Austerser hunting rifle. I butchered those names, I know. So basically, if you're running a hunting rifle silencer, you're not going to need 2 of those, one for each rifle. Same with the scopes. So this is going to take a little bit of finagling to sort out what you actually need to leave in your storage box and what you can do with that. So you're going to have to do a little bit of thinking about this before you get rid of any of these, depending on what you're using. Of course, if you're not using these weapons and you're just keeping them for a good time's sake, for instance, I've got a blue kisp there, and I've got a blue kisp in my actual setup, so I can get rid of that. So don't be holding onto too many weapons, duplicate weapons. I like to have different options, but don't get too precious with them. So once you've made that determination on attachments, then yeah, it's just a case of coming over here. Now you'll notice that you can tell which attachments that you've just taken out your storage box because they're not assigned to a weapon. It's a very easy way of telling, and then you can just recycle them. And again, you can get all kinds of components from them, much the same as you can with your weapon. And I can tell I'm scrapping the right one because this KISP 46, KISP SMG has all the attachments on it. This one does not. So what to do with these resources? Well, then you can go to the consumable station and you can start making stuff. And you can see I've got a few ammunition types that I can make. Especially the birdshot is really useful for me. And when you're scrapping ammunition, one of the key things you get is explosives, which is really hard to find elsewhere. So that's why I scrap the ammo I'm not using, so I can make more ammo that I actually do need. So obviously you're going to have to find blueprints around the map, but once you do, this is where you use your resources to craft stuff. Simple first aid kits as well I can craft, and again you'll find all kinds of blueprints. And also you can use your sewing machine to the sewing machine there, and you can use the resources to craft all kinds of stuff there if you need to. So there you go, you can see it. There's where you would use your resources to craft a bullet resistant jacket. So there's a couple of tips for you in inventory management, keeping the numbers down in your inventory management. It really comes down to what you're carrying and what you decide your loadout should be, and just scrap everything else as you need it over time. So there you go, there's some of my tips, some of the things that I use to keep my inventory under control and my carrying weight down. I hope it has been super useful for everyone, and it is a constant thing with lots of these types of games that you have to be keeping on top of. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're enjoying the Generation Zero Tips and Tricks series. If you are, a like rating's always appreciated. I love reading your comments, and if you've got any suggestions for further videos, please let me know. And we'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya!